Hello there, this is Jay, and this is Wipeout. We're going to be playing Karbonis V in Japan, and we're going to be using a Japanese character, Arial Tetsuo, otherwise known as Baby, for the Auricom team. Now, Auricom is a very interesting one because it's one of two teams in the game that are a direct result of a bust-up at the original AG systems. Auricom in particular is run by, at this time, Delia Flaubert, an employee who felt that the more utopian aspects are what should have been focused on in AG systems. And when she and her rival from Qirex were basically kicked out of the company for this epic spat, she formed Auricom in America, which believes in the purity of racing. They are pretty much the closest thing that Wipeout has to good guys. And Karbonis in Japan, probably one of the many mountains of Japan, is not a bad track actually. That downhill turn can be a bit of a git if you don't know how to deal with it. But the rest of the track just requires that you know your air brakes. Much more so with the Auricom or the Qirex, and dear God, I was bouncing around a lot with this one. As I said before, you have to level out. Now those swoosh sounds you're hearing, those are the air brakes. They allow you to turn a hell of a lot quicker, and if you're really dumb, you can hold down both R1 and L1 to actually brake full stop. But this is a racing game. Slowing down that drastically is not a good idea. The air brakes are, trust me, good enough. So here you'll notice I pitched the nose down and took that corner pretty tightly. That is one of the more efficient ways to do that corner. Air braking like this is not necessarily the most efficient way, but with the Auricom on Venom class, it's passable. You'll also notice that regardless of whether you use one air brake or two, you will lose speed due to air resistance. And you'll also note that the track has a lot of gradients, a lot of pitch changes. For that downhill section, you pretty much want your nose tilted down as much as possible to stop leaving the track, because when you stop leaving the track, well, you bounce, you lose speed, and you lose a bit of control as well. But this is all about proper management and knowing which boost pads are good for you and which traps. That one's good for you. The one in the corner here is actually kind of a newbie trap. You do not need to hit every boost pad to get good speed. It helps, but you do not need to do so. For example, going on the outside there would have ruined your racing line. So, now that we've talked a little bit about Auricom, there's not a hell of a lot to say about Auricom at this moment apart from their bitter rivalry with Qirex. But we can talk about Arial Tetsuo. Arial Tetsuo is iconic. She pretty much is one of two racers in the Wipeout series that have bios and are, as I mentioned, icons for the series. In the characterization, she's bright, she's bubbly, she's, typical Japanese girl. She is the youngest pilot at, I believe, 22. And after this game, she gets a bit of a political career. She does really well due to leveraging her fan popularity and actually having brain cells to bang together, but is eventually assassinated in the 2050s while opening, I think it was a donut shop. It's in the text post for the thread anyway, so it was a ridiculous death. But because she was the pilot that had the most art of her in promotional materials, including a cover of Computer and Video Gamer, she was pretty much the icon of this game, and she was then put into the music video for Fluke's Atom Bomb, part of the soundtrack for the second game, 2097. Now, tactics for the Auricom in racing are a bit of a mix, because it's not quite as fast as the Qirex in terms of top speed. It's not quite as good at handling as the AG systems. It's basically second worst in handling, requiring you to use air brakes early on. So you kind of have this mostly racing with a little bit of weapons and abilities for the winning playstyle. Canonically, Auricom basically have this thing of never actually using weapons, but fuck that. They're pretty much pacifists. But playing a pacifist in this game is going to get you stalled. As such, even though they are technically competent, they've generally been mid-pack runners, as opposed to the Qirex, who are pretty goddamn fearsome, because they have the highest top speed. Basically, as you go down the list, you've got AG Systems, which is generalist, you've got FISAR, which is handling, you've got really bad speed loss, because I actually hit the track there, you can hear the clunk. Nose was too high, basically. Yeah, then you've got Auricom, who lose acceleration and handling in exchange for speed and mass. And then you've got the Qirex, which pretty much completes that path. Basically, AG Systems is pretty good for higher racing for someone who doesn't want to bother too much with air brakes. Auricom is bothering with air brakes where you can. And Qirex, well, by the time of Rapier, that's the pro ship. If you can handle a Qirex, god damn, you will DNF other players. Not that there is DNF as such in this game. So yeah, pitch control is kind of important here. Obviously, up to pitch up, down to pitch down, although this can be reversed in some settings. And yeah, that's Karbonis V and Arial's terrible art. There's much better on the internet, trust me. So this has been Jamie the D, carrying on Wipeout. Next time we will be doing Terramax in the AG systems. See you then.